Last weekend, something unusual started unfolding around Rockstar Games, and at first it didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary. But within a short time, it turned into a situation that raised a much bigger question. How secure are even the most secretive gaming studios today? Hi and welcome to another video with short explaining of what happened after ShinyHunters released the hacked data. Because what happened next wasn't just a small breach. It was a full-scale data leak involving one of the most closely guarded companies in the gaming industry. The hacking group ShinyHunters managed to gain access to Rockstar's internal systems, and instead of quietly negotiating behind the scenes, they escalated things in a very public way. On April 13th, they released the stolen data after Rockstar reportedly refused to meet their ransom demands. And that immediately changes the nature of the situation, because when hackers stop negotiating and start publishing, it usually means one of two things. Either they've already gotten what they wanted, or they want attention more than money. So the question becomes, what was the real goal here? The data itself was accessed through cloud-based services and then compiled into a downloadable archive that was later posted on a dark website. At the same time, the group denied earlier claims that they had tried to sell the data for $200,000 on Telegram. That detail is important because it suggests this wasn't just a simple financial attempt. It became something more public and more intentional. And that leads to another question. When hackers go public like this, who is the real target? The company or the reputation? Naturally, the first concern from everyone was the same. Does this involve GTA 6? Is something major about to leak? But after analysis of the files, the answer appears to be no. The leak mainly contains internal data from Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Online, and this includes things like revenue tracking, player activity trends, regional spending behavior, and internal performance reports, but there is no source code, no game assets, and no files related to GTA 6. On paper, that sounds like a relief, but it also creates another question. If GTA 6 wasn't involved, why is this leak still considered serious? The answer comes down to what was actually exposed. A total of 25 CSV files were leaked, adding up to around 8 gigabytes of structured data. Now, a CSV file might sound technical, but the idea behind it is simple. CSV stands for comma-separated values. It is basically a spreadsheet-style file where data is stored in rows and columns. Each row represents a record, and each column represents a type of information, such as revenue, player activity, region, or performance metrics. Companies use CSV files because they are lightweight, fast to process, and capable of storing massive datasets in a simple format. So when 25 of these files leak, you are not looking at random documents. You are looking at the internal structure of how a company analyzes its entire ecosystem, and the scale here is massive. The leaked data reportedly spans from 2018 to 26, containing around 78.7 million rows of information. That includes financial analytics, in-game economy tracking, player engagement metrics, customer support data, and even parts of anti-cheat systems, even though no personal player data appears to have been exposed, because everything was already aggregated before being uploaded. The dataset still gives a rare and detailed look into how Rockstar measures, balances, and manages its online worlds. And that raises a deeper question. How much of a game's success is actually shaped by this hidden layer of data? Now, when you start looking at the numbers, things become even more interesting. GTA Online generates an average of $9.6 million per week, which comes out to roughly $499 million per year. At its peak, weekly revenue reportedly reaches $27.9 million. That alone tells you something important. This is not a legacy game running on nostalgia. It is still a highly profitable live service ecosystem. But the real driver behind that revenue is what matters most. Around 74% of GTA Online's earnings come from shark cards, while 26% comes from GTA Plus subscriptions. Now here's what shark cards actually are. Shark cards are optional in-game currency packs inside GTA Online. Players purchase them using real money, and in return they receive GTA dollars, the game's internal currency. That currency can then be used to buy vehicles, properties, weapons, businesses, and upgrades. So instead of grinding missions for hours to earn money, players can choose to spend real money to progress faster. And that's the key idea. It is a choice between time and money. From a player perspective, shark cards are not required. You can play the entire game without ever buying one. But from a business perspective, they are extremely powerful because they directly convert player convenience into revenue. And that explains why 74% of earnings come from them. Not subscriptions, not expansions, but direct spending inside the game economy. When you break the data down further, platform performance tells another part of the story. PlayStation 5 leads with about $4.5 million per week. Xbox Series X follows with $1.9 million. Then PlayStation 4 at 973,000, Xbox One at 918,000, and PC at around 264,000 per week. That spread shows something very clear. Console ecosystems still dominate GTA Online's economy, even years after release. And geographically, one region stands far above the rest. The United States alone accounts for $153 million in revenue, more than all other top 10 countries combined. That is not just dominance, that is concentration of spending power in one market. Now, when you compare all of this to Red Dead Online, the contrast becomes impossible to ignore. It generates around $507,000 per week, or roughly $26 million per year. That is about 19 times less than GTA Online. And at that point, Rockstar's reduced focus on the mode starts to make business sense. Not emotionally, but logically. There is also one unusual detail hidden in the dataset that stands out immediately. On December 25th, 2020, a player on Xbox One in North America reportedly spent over $1 million on shark cards in a single transaction. Not over time, not across multiple purchases, but in one moment. And that single data point shows something important. While most players spend small amounts, a very small number of users contribute extreme levels of revenue. That kind of spending behavior is rare, but it plays a huge role in shaping overall earnings. To add more context, this isn't even the first recent incident involving Rockstar content. Earlier in March, an early build of Grand Theft Auto 4 for the Xbox 360 also surfaced online. So while these events are different, they do create a broader picture of ongoing pressure around Rockstar's ecosystem. Rockstar eventually responded to the breach, calling it limited corporate data and stating that it does not affect players or live operations. And when you step back and look at the full picture, something becomes very clear. Even though this leak sounds massive, the most critical elements were not touched. No GTA 6 files, no source code, no player identity data. And in a situation like this, that matters more than anything else. Because when it comes to a game like GTA 6, secrecy is not just marketing, it is part of the experience. The mystery, the anticipation, the controlled reveals, that is what builds the hype in the first place. And in this case, that structure remained intact. So honestly, I am glad that nothing essential was exposed, especially when it comes to GTA 6. Some things are simply better when they are revealed the way they were intended, not through leaks. But now I want to ask you something. Do you think this breach was actually harmless or just incomplete? And that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next one.